Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Kibet Musa. Those are my real name. I'm a Kenyan, by the way. So I would like to share with you some few things concerning the life in my journey from high school. And also I would like to go into detail about my history in high school since I joined Form 1. I remember very well, it was 2010. I can't remember the date specifically, but I still remember the experience. It was very tough anyway, and if I can flash back on what I did during that day, especially during the admission time, I had an ambition and at the same time a big dream on what I'm going to pursue in future. I can remember very well, it was in BCFC Christian Academy where I joined, and then after that, that is when everything became very smooth because of the Christian Foundation. We were introduced to golden bells. I remember during that day, you were given a golden bells. If I can remember some song, I could have just sang some of them, but I can't remember very well. So golden sun, the Bible and all that, it was a nice experience. But the only different thing that came into my life, it is that life of being in a boarding school, and I've never used to be in boarding during the primary time. So I had a new environment whereby everything changed. You have the routine schedule whereby you're supposed to wake up at 5 or 10, then coming back to class, morning preps, then going back to assembly. It was a nice experience, but I didn't find it very simple and easy during the first time, until when I started adapting the system. I became very familiar with the environment, but there were some few challenges, especially waking up. At that time when the bell rang and you are still sleeping, you will find a dorm captain coming with the water in a container. Yani, it was just a messy whereby you are told our Form 1 should be in a class. I don't know what we went to read during that time. You have the dictionary, you have the kamusi. So even it was just actually a very difficult environment during my first time. So after that, that's when you're introduced to biology. You have been the introduction of everything. But when you go to class during morning hours, you wonder what will you revise. You don't have enough notes to do that. But I used to go through dictionary, kamusi. Sometimes even you get time to go to that calculator, because that's part of the requirement during the first time. I remember there is a day we traveled for almost, I think it was 70 kilometers or 50 something, if I can approximate. It was the outbreak of meningitis, and we were told to pack our package during that day. I remember very well, it was early in the morning. So the distance covered, I remember it was 50 or to 70, and I remember it was early in the morning. So waking up early in the morning, and there are some places which are very dry. We had an experience of dry area, walking, and at the same time you have got one shoes. You can actually see the distance we covered, and with that one shoes, and at the same time sometimes it's very tight, because you're also growing, and you'll find that shoes, it's not actually fitting you very well. So it was a very tough time. During the daytime, we take our porridge early in the morning, because we used to take porridge early in the morning. Then we travel for that distance. I remember we reached somewhere whereby we were told there is no water. We need to find water to one of our neighbor, which it was just nearby to Uganda, Amakuriat. So reaching to that place at the same time, I've never used to walk, so I find it very difficult. So we took that water, and then we walked up to Amakuriat. It was a neighbor to Uganda, and that's when we came back. So reaching back to school, hey, let me tell you, my friend, it was very, my body was, it was just aching everywhere because I had even a swollen leg. So at the same time, I didn't find it very nice. It was a very tough experience, you can imagine. And then you walk all that distance without taking anything but water. I remember we just took some water from that bowl. So it was a very tough experience coming back to Kapenguria at the same time. It was the same day, but we reached at school at around, I can remember it was 8 p.m. So waking up early in the morning, going to cover that distance, coming back, and then at the same time you have your meal. And I remember very well, it was Kideri at that time. So you can imagine how tough it is. It was a very tough experience on my side. So, okay, for the Form 1s who are joining this year, or maybe it's your time you are joining Form 1, I can share these remarks with you that sometimes you may find that you're in a day school and you have to walk for a long distance. Don't just give up on that. It's just part of life, which actually it also harden you in one way. But another thing also which I can encourage you is that you will have that time to see how the environment is taking you, because this issue of having a boarding school, sometimes I find it challenging, but walking from home to the place where you are schooling, it's not actually bad. So never ever give up on that. Just continue, try as much as possible to be that a good planner. Just organize, jaribu kujipanga jinsi ya kusoma jioni, ama kwa wakati mwingine pia unapata nyumbani hakuna taa. Upande mwingine pia unapata pia kuna challenge, ukishafika nyumbani unapaswa kufanya kazi fulani. So you have to find a way to adapt that system. Waking up and having the schedule early in the morning, taking water, taking bath early in the morning. Sometimes it makes you, it's just part of fun. In fact, even you're supposed to enjoy. So I will encourage each and everyone, try as much as possible to adapt the environment you're in. Actually, my experience, the tough life I've gone through, actually it has molded me to be a good person whom I can adapt any kind of life, because you'll find you go through a lot so that you can understand other, and the same way you have that mechanism to adapt any environment. I think you can take in this example that if you have gone through a tough life, even having we call it an average life or good life, you can fit in anywhere. So it has really actually molded me. I'm a trained teacher at this time, so we are actually I can even advise anyone, any young person outside, so that because I've gone through a lot and I know 1, 2 or 3 concerning life, I can as well actually give an advice. I can say that if I will be invited in a place where there is a crowd, or there is a youth or any other individuals, I can give them a word of advice, or a wise word of the toughness that we've gone through. Yeah, so that tough life, actually it has really molded me into actually a different person, if I can compare myself with the previous, or the person whom I was young. So that's part of my life. It has been really nice. I've been enjoying, although it has been up and down, but all in all, we have to adapt the system. As I said earlier, that you can find me in my YouTube channel, Kibet Keep Kenya TV. I've changed the name from Kibet #Mwalimu. Then on Facebook, you can find me as Kibet Sawe. I've got actually a page on Instagram, Kibet Anthony or Kibet Sawe. Twitter, you can find me as Kibet Sawe